Yes, guys, welcome back to the stream. How are we doing? How are we doing, Blues? Welcome back. First of all, I want to say big ups to Ousmane Dembele for the Ballon d'Or. No real complaints with me, no robbery or anything like that. The Yamal, really good footballer. I feel a bit bad for Rafinha, where he got ranked like fifth, was it, or something like that. I think he should probably be a little higher. The season he had compared to his expectations, or compared to what people expected of him, the expectations, I don't think anyone thought that he was going to have the game that he did. The season that he did. Never mind game. He was absolutely unreal. But nonetheless, Ballon d'Or was last night, and today is about Man City, and specifically. Sorry, we're there. Sorry, just checking something out. By the way, big ups to Talsif in the chat, also congratulating Ousmane Dembele. It was quite funny seeing Donnarumma and what he had to say. That was quite funny. But let's do a predicted 11 for Huddersfield, because I'm interested for it, because it's an opportunity to do something a little bit different. Not quite what we're normally used to. Let's turn notifications off. Don't need those on. There we go. That's better. Anyway, so where were we? All right. Let me know what you're thinking for the predicted 11. By the way, what players do you want to see feature that maybe we normally wouldn't? I've got a couple in mind, but I'll let you guys come up with some as well. I'm going to go for that. And we'll settle for that. There we go. That's good. Anyways, so let's flick it on to share screen. Specifically, lineup builder, share. There. Boom. We might as well change formation, because this hasn't really... Actually, no. I actually think it will be something like this. Now we're going to start the goalkeeper. Remember, it is Huddersfield in the cup, so I am going to go for James Trafford in goal. For a player that had a decent start to the season, it's a little unfortunate how he's been sidelined. But look, for me, we have to prioritise this team over certain individuals, and yeah, I would absolutely love to see more for Trafford, and I think this is a good opportunity for him to enter this team. I think it is a good opportunity for him. Now then, for the back line, it's an interesting one. Defensively, I still want to go relatively strong. I think we still have gaps in our defense. But I don't want to go completely flat. So. Backline. What am I thinking? I think we'll slot Ake here. I think we'll play Nico O'Reilly again. This is probably a good opportunity to give Vardio a little bit of a rest. Let's play Ake there. Nunes. And shall we say Stones? Stones was back from injury against Arsenal. I only want to see him play, by the way, if he's actually fit. If he's like semi-fit, not fully there, don't even bother. Don't even bother. I only want a fit John Stones. I'm not for rushing players back. I don't think anyone is, to be honest. It's just you're setting yourself up for failure rushing players back. We saw it last season. We had players rushed back, and it led to some pretty ugly stuff for us, of course. So, yeah, absolutely no way do I want to be rushing John Stones back in a game like this. Donnarumma, when he won the Ashen award, said, "I want to thank Pep and the City board for believing in me." Didn't mention anything about PSG. Hilarious. I mean, yeah, PSG did throw him under the bus, so I don't really blame him too much. Now then, in the pivot, I'm going with a double pivot because I don't think anyone can quite do the job like Rodri. And I think the double pivot I'm going to go for is Rico Lewis and Nico Gonzalez. I think that's probably a decent one. I think Rico Lewis is a bit more of a midfielder anyway. Now then, it's an interesting one next. So there's a couple of players I wouldn't mind seeing. I think this front three could be really good. I'm going to go Bob up top. We'll give Haaland a rest. He's been playing every game. So we're going to go Oscar Bob up top, okay, because he can play off the front. So we're going to go Foden off the right, Savinho off the left, and I think Mukasa here. Oh, he doesn't exist. Okay, we're going to slip in McAtee and turn him into Mukasa. Change his shirt number, which I believe is 63. It is. Boom. Boom, there you have it. I think that's a decent, reasonable 11. To be honest, I think that is relatively realistic. Maxi's gone. Yeah, don't worry. Did you see Gianluigi's Donnarumma speech last night? I read it. Didn't actually get to see it. But yeah, I have read it. Yeah, McAtee. I wonder how he's actually doing, I have no idea how he's started life so far. No goal contributions yet in his first 4 games. Yeah, but let me know what you guys think of that 11. Is that good? Is that fair? The only thing that's giving me a little bit of a thing right now is maybe the back line. I'm just going to try and see what we've got in terms of defensive options. Because I know he's obviously injured. Josko, he's not long back from injury, and I know that doesn't mean we can't play at all. I just don't like the idea of playing 2 injury-prone centre-backs. If Kusanov can play, then I don't mind playing him. Don't mind playing him whatsoever. But it might just be a case of playing Vardio, It could just be a case of that. Could very well see Calvin Phillips. I'm not going to write that off, We could see Calvin Phillips. Kovacic, by the way, is back in training. Don't think he'll start. It's been a couple months, so he is back in training there. Which is a good thing. I like Kovacic. He adds goals to us. Yeah, big ups to Donnarumma, by the way. Here's a picture of him. Yeah. He was brilliant last season. Everyone thought he was the best goalkeeper in the world last season. And he absolutely is. There's no doubt about it. I don't think anyone, I think if he joined any other team, it wouldn't be a debate. And I haven't really seen anyone hating on the decision, to be fair. Kyle Walker reunited with former City teammates at the Phoenix in Manchester this week for Manuel Akanji's leaving drinks. So, just some city players having a good time. Pep on press conference here. Let's have a look. Haaland fitness, recovery yesterday, didn't train, training today. I didn't see him and the rest of the players yet, but hopefully he could be better ready for the weekend. So yeah, not going to feature tomorrow night, which is a good thing. Don't mind him resting. Congratulations to him, PSG as well. That's what he's done at Paris. But yeah, the impact's been really great. Always when we have him, we're happy to. We can be satisfied. Finishing 9th or 6th or 12th or as much as you are there. Close means you've done it a really, really good season. I have a feeling that Gigi, every season he's there, close as a good goalkeeper. Today it looks so important for the individual awards, but all the nominees, the winners, well done, well played, congratulations. Yeah, pretty standard. It's pretty standard Pep stuff, to be fair. You know, quite typical quotes. Tactics. I'm proud, satisfied. Don't know the right word. We recovered many things from last season we've missed. We have an incredible spirit. We cannot sustain all this season to play the way we've played, and we don't want it. Incredible. Credit to Arsenal. Yeah, just to comment on myself, myself and on the performance. I obviously didn't see the back end of it, but I can understand why we played the way we did. Because Pep's not incorrect. The way we want to play, you know, we need to be better than the team we're playing, or we need to have like a setup that's better. And I don't think we can right now. I don't think we do have what it takes to beat Arsenal in here right now. I think Arsenal's squad is better than us. So I get what he's saying, in fairness, when it comes to our team. But as of right now, we're not too great in the table, if I'm honest. You know, we should be higher. Our standards are higher. You know, we're currently tied on points with Man United. Only ahead on goal difference currently. You know, we need to be more up here, really. It's not getting easier, though. It's not getting easier. We do have Burnley next, which is good. Brentford, which is actually pretty good. Next 4 games, we should be winning in the Premier League. You know, Burnley. They're a newly promoted team. They'll probably give us a go to a level, but we should be winning. Brentford, again, they're decent, but they are struggling without Thomas Frank at the helm. I had a feeling they would. I think a lot of people did. Everton having a pretty good season. Probably the biggest test. The only thing I'll say is that this is at the Etihad. We have to capitalise. And look, Villa at Villa Park. I'll be honest with you, Blues. Touch wood. Assuming they don't turn things around over the next couple of weeks, I'm not incredibly worried about Villa. They aren't conceding a lot. Okay, they've only conceded 5, which is one of the lower amounts in the league. You know, it's the same amount as us. But they've only scored 1, which is the lowest amount in the league. You know, Wolves have scored more than that, and they're awful. So, you know, they're still about to win, Villa. They just can't seem to put the ball in the back of the net at the moment. 2 0-0 draws and 1-1-0 and 1-1-1 game. They can't put the ball in the back of the net. It's weird because they've still got a very good team. Their team's not bad. You know, Watkins, decent player. Rogers, very decent player. I think the thing is, I think their wings aren't great. Yeah, I don't really know how good this guy is, to be honest. You know, I not really 100% sure. We'll have a look at what he's what his last season was like. 13 goals, 10 assists in Ligue 1 last season with Nice. So, I mean, decent stats. You know, you can see why they probably signed him. But he's having a hard time clearly putting the ball in the back of the net. Along with Villa. And, I mean, Buendia is a decent baller. Yo, Connect, says Win Malfay. Big ups to you. Buendia's a decent footballer. Kamara, he's good, but I mean, he's a pivot, and so is John McGinn. Well, John McGinn is like a bit more of a 10, but does play a bit more like the 8 for them. So, yeah, it's a weird one for it really is. No, Tielemans probably isn't doing them any favours. But if they've got good talent on the bench here to come on as well and help them out a bit. Harvey Elliott, good. Malin, good. Sancho, not bad. Matson, he's a full-back offence. And Bogard, I think he's a midfielder. So, I don't really know what the problem is with Villa right now, but I'm not super worried about them. You lock down Watkins and Morgan Rogers, you seem to be probably doing all right. Although that's not to say it'll be a complete walk in the park. But anyway, let's divert our attention back over to here, shall we? The EFL Cup. If you're wondering about how the other games are shaping up right now, they're obviously all still in play. Lincoln and Chelsea 0-0. Everton are losing to Wolves 1-0. Fulham and Cambridge are tied 0-0 still. Same with Wigan and Wycombe. Brighton are beating Barnsley 2-0, Burnley and Cardiff all square, as well as Wrexham and Reading, as well as Liverpool and Southampton. Curious to see how they're going to line up here. Now, I'm also curious to see what their benches bring in. Again, it's another one where they haven't really bought, other than Hugo Ekitike. They haven't really got any of their top attacking talent on. You saw this last season against Plymouth. I'm saying this, they'll probably score. You saw this last season against Plymouth. They went in, didn't bring any of their top players on the bench, and they lost the game, and they didn't really have any of the talent to try and change it up. Now then, to be fair, maybe Hugo Ekitike comes on, makes the difference. But yeah, it's just a bit of a weird one. They got decent academy boys, Dan's isn't bad. Reece Williams, I believe, is a winger. I think Cade Gordon as well. I'm not too sure on the other two. Pardon me. Yeah, I don't know why he doesn't. Honestly, I don't know why he does it, because it's not like Salah is on here. No Van Dijk either. That's playing a team and they're really going for them, and the backline is clearly struggling. No Van Dijk trying to steady the ship a bit. It's a weird one. It's clearly going defensive, Southampton, but still. Anyway, though, we'll flick back over to here. This is my predicted 11. I'm pretty happy with it. I don't think it's too bad. I don't know if it's spot on. It's probably not. Mukassa's probably not going to get the game. Bob at striker, I'm not sure on. He could very well do Phil in a false 9, I think is a very well thing. And potentially Bernardo too. So, I wouldn't count on this being true, but this is what I'd really like to see. I think it's decent. I think it's Pep-ish. And yeah, I think this is a decent 11, to be honest with you, Blues. I think this could get the job done against Huddersfield. Ultimately, though, Blues, this is about getting the job done. I want to progress to the next round. I want an exciting game of football too. A part of me wants Huddersfield to really give it a go. And not we can pass through them and, beat the press and score 4 goals and whatnot, like we did against Luton that one time. But I like when teams give it a go. What's their names? I can't remember. Was it Salford No, it wasn't Salford. We almost lost 2-1 to a League One. No, we had a very tough time against a League One team last season. Leyton Orient. There you go. I think that Championship, in fairness, we had to make a comeback here. And to be fair to Leyton Orient, I know that the possession is extremely low, but they gave it a decent go. They were a threat at times. 13 shots, even if only 3 were on target. They weren't too bad, Leyton Orient. So part of me wants Huddersfield to really give it. But like Blues, I haven't got too much more to say. You've seen my predicted 11. I like it. Trafford and goal. Back four with Nunes, Stones, Ake, O'Reilly. Pivot of Rico and Nico. Foden, Mukasa, and Savinio. All behind number 9, Oscar Bob. Not number 9, number 52, but the principal is there. Oh, excuse me. Anyways, Blues. Big up Seawolf for tuning in. I know it's only a short one, but I haven't really got too much more to say. Congratulations to Donnarumma on the Action Trophy. Congratulations on Usman Dembele, really, for the Ballon d'Or. Don't really think Gyökeres should have got Striker of the Year, if I'm honest. From there, I was better than him. But, oh well, I'm not really bothered about Striker of the Year. Anyway, though, thank you for tuning in, Blues. I do appreciate the support, as per usual. And I will see you all in the next one.